Alright, hello everyone. So, I'm presenting a game called Bannerlord. How viable are the cities in Bannerlord? If you don't know, it's a video game about. It's just like this campaign, and it's like a medieval fantasy-esque simulator, basically. Except you get to control units. It's really fun. You're like a commander, whatever. How viable are these castles and cities? The city that I'm going to be looking at is called Legetta. It's like an empire city. Um, And yeah, so let's go through the pros and the cons first. The pros is that the Kernels and the Merlones, I think this extended bit is called a Merlone on the battlement. It's tall enough for my full character to hide behind with basically no chance of getting shot from attacking archers, which is awesome. So that's already a plus. Second plus, it has walls, everything that a good walled city needs. You know, you never expect that. Ooh, it has these nice holes that archers can fire through, which is really good. Um, I mean, two isn't gonna do too much, but you know what? It's still a good thing to have. Secondly, they have a moat. They have some kind of stoppage obstacle other than the wall, which is a good thing. They have this bridge here so that people bottleneck a little bit getting to the gate, and then once you're at the gate and you breach this first part with your battering ram, ooh, you have to get through another gate where the battering ram can't go through, cannot. And there's this murder hole here that you can throw stones through or boiling water, whatever you want, so that the people attacking this gate are penalized heavily when they're trying to get through. So that's a really good thing. Next, that I thought was really interesting that Bannerlord included was this tower here. This like extended tower, kind of all by itself. You can see it's barely connected to the rest of the city through this small bridge. And the good thing about this tower is that, one, it's decently tall, surrounded by rocks, so it's going to be hard to get a siege tower up here. It's going to be hard to find ladders long enough to get up there. And secondly, when you're on top of this tower, you have a great vantage point to shoot at the people attacking the gates, to shoot at the people if they've gotten in the city on the walls. This is going to be really hard to take. This tower, you're not gonna be able to take the whole city without taking this tower first. And look at this tiny doorway. You can fit like one person there, right? Maybe two if they're like dwarves. I don't know. If they're like, if one's riding on the back of the other, you could probably fit two through there. But imagine all the spears and other pole arms poking out through this. That would just be a nightmare to get through. Um, the unfortunate thing about it is, if they had archer holes right here, it'd be even more devastating. Unfortunately, they don't. But you're still able to throw rocks down here, still able to throw boiling water. So, you're losing a little bit of efficiency there, but it's not too bad. Ooh. Yeah, the walls aren't straight, which is a great pro. A lot of times you see if people are just drawing castles for fun, the walls are just completely straight. It's like a circle or a square, right? And that's actually bad. You want it to be, imagine like a star fortress, like a little bit less optimized version of that, so that, I can shoot at the people attacking the gate and imagine if the wall was just straight here, like this was where the tower was. I have no vantage point on the people trying to break through into my city, into my castle, whatever. So it's nice that they have these extended towers, the walls that aren't just, going in a straight line. But unfortunately, I think those are the only pros to this. There are actually a lot of cons that you may not have been able to notice at first glance. Well, secondly, they have these nice mangonels, and there's some ballistae somewhere. There's one. The cons. There is no mangonel, and there's no ballista up here, which is a really large missed opportunity. Firing into the backs of soldiers here would be awesome, or they would be forced to turn around, form like a testudo-esque formation in order to not be hit, which would impede their movement, which would be a great thing. Secondly, this moat is so sad. I don't know if they're going through like a drought or something, but there's like barely a foot of water here. I mean, of course, the defenders or the attackers had to build these massive bridges over it, but this is really no obstruction at all. I mean, at some points you can even jump over it. Like here, you could jump over that, not even get wet. So that's, this is just dumb. It's not really effective. Secondly, this bridge could have been a drawbridge. Even if this river was a waste, the drawbridge would have been extra defense. Just make it a little bit, teensy bit harder for the attackers. But no, it's a solid stone bridge. There's no way you're going to be able to collapse that. Same thing with over here. This fortress could have even been more fortified if there was a drawbridge here. Then you would have to go through the process of either building up another bridge and destroying, essentially a gate that the drawbridge has created, or you would have to make these massive ladders or siege towers to get all the way up to the top, which would just be a lot of resources for one lonely little tower. So, yeah, there's definitely a missed opportunity there. I mean, guarding the store is, it's still going to be wildly efficient for the defenders to, have this tower here, but not as efficient as it could have been. What else don't I really like about this? There's some jank to it. It's quite janky. If you look over here, there's no stairs leading up to this next part of the wall. I don't know why that is. Over here too, it just randomly drops off. And then there's this little wall, or continuation, just going over here. And for what reason? What is the point of that extra wall? I will never know. There's not even a gate to it. It's just this long hallway. So, that doesn't make sense to me. There's the crinals and the crinals, they don't, they should be on the opposite side of the wall as well. Like here, that should be around most of this part, because you know why? Eventually, unless the attackers are just very, very outmatched, and this is a very poorly planned siege. But we're saying that it isn't, that they get through the gate. They get through, both these gates, they survive all the things you're throwing at them, shooting at them, pouring on them. They get in here, and then when you try to shoot them, you're not protected, right? Well, this isn't an awesome example because, you do have the crinals on the back of the towers, but like on this wall part, the archers have no protection from enemy archers once they get inside the city, which is a big oversight because the siege isn't over by any means once the people breach your gate. I mean, sieges have gone on very long, even after the enemies have breached the gate. Siege of Jerusalem multiple times. The other cons, they have all these long, almost gatehouse-esque things, but they don't put gates on them. I mean, this could be, if their goal is to get to the keep, which it normally is, having the extra gates there would be a huge pain, a massive pain. Like, you could just have 2 gates here, and that would add so much extra time for the defenders to get through, sorry. There's some jank here, because it's Bannerlord. It's kind of weird. But if we're going over to the keep now, and you're like, well, even if they don't have gates on these other archways, they should at least have it for the keep, right? No, you're wrong. Not a single gate, not even one gate. You have ample space for 2 gates, plus a murder hole. This could just be like the gatehouse in the, over there. Also, you can't access this part, which is why there's no way to get in this room. So ignore the fallacy of there's no entrance way. So yeah, that's a massive missed opportunity. There's no crinals on the back here again. At least they do have stairs leading up to the second part of the wall, which is nice. But yeah, this would be awesome. Imagine, if there were gates here and they finally broke through them again. You have archers, they're just charging into this massive trap, and then they have to go through these doors all the while they're being shot at. Because keep in mind, look, there's no stairs to get up to these walls from the outside or from the inside. Essentially, what would normally happen is that, there'd be doors in here, right? I mean, obviously you're not supposed to access this part, but saying that there were, that'd be really tough to get through. And this, after they've lost so many men, would probably just end the siege. So I think that's about all I wanted to cover. Overall, it was decent. It wasn't an amazing walled city. It's not the best I've ever seen. It did have some interesting parts. I like that they had that tower out there. I like that the walls weren't just straight. They had some good line of sight. Um, but overall, if I rate this for efficiency, I'd probably say it's a 6 out of 10. There are a lot of missed opportunities, and I think it could have benefited from a little bit more research into how cities were supposed to be. But yeah, if you enjoyed, I'd recommend subscribing and leaving a like if you want me to mention something, because I'll probably be reviewing another one. Maybe, I don't know, depending on how well this does. If you want me to mention something else there, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you later. Adios.